Hi everybody, it's Ms. Doubrley from Broadway Family Karate. Thank you for joining me here today. We're going to be talking about something near and dear to my heart. I think this is a very important part of self-defense, which of course is something that we focus on at Broadway Family Karate. Today we are going to talk about assertiveness. Now, this may not be a word you're familiar with, but I suspect it's something that you probably use in your life almost every day, or at least most of you. It's a really important part of self-defense, so I'd like for us to take a little time to talk about what it is, how to use it, and some ways that you can practice being assertive. So let's start out with what assertiveness is. Wikipedia defines assertiveness as being self-assured and confident without being aggressive. Another way to think about this is basically you're standing up for your own rights or the rights of someone else in a calm and positive way. Again, without being aggressive. It's a really important skill to learn, and you can use it not only in self-defense, but in lots of other ways too. For example, maybe somebody asks you if you would do their homework for them. Well, that's probably not something you want to do. And it's probably not something that you should do. So that would be an appropriate time to be assertive, to say, no, I can't do your homework. Maybe somebody wants you to go somewhere with them after school, but you know that you need to be home at a certain time. Again, another great time to be assertive and practice saying, I'm sorry, I can't do that. I need to be home. My parents are expecting me. Or maybe it's as simple as somebody offering you something to eat that you really don't like. It might be an okay time to say, I appreciate that, but no, I actually don't enjoy green beans. Some very simple, basic examples of how you may assert for yourself in everyday life. Now, we're going to look at this from a more self-defense centered sort of focus. In self-defense, being able to say no, being able to stand up for yourself is a very important thing to do. And basically, we're learning to be assertive, both physically, but also with our voice. I know all of you know that I like us to be very loud when we're in class together. And this is just another way to use your voice in self-defense. And it's one of the best things that you can do. A lot of times, a nice, strong, assertive voice, whether it's saying let go or simply saying no, can avoid you needing to do anything else. It might keep you from having to use those palm heels or knees. And because we're trying to get away from a situation as safe as we can and as intact as we can, that's a really good thing to be able to use just your voice to convince somebody that they don't want to mess with you. So, one of course, the most basic ways to use assertiveness and self-defense is simply saying no. Somebody asks you to go with them. You say no. Someone tries to physically take you somewhere by grabbing your wrist like we do a lot in class. You, of course, can say let go, but you can also, again, just say no. It's a really important skill to practice. I'd actually like for us to practice it together right now. I'm going to say the word no, and I'd like you to repeat it after me. Now, an important thing to remember in this is that you have to believe what you're saying. If you're saying no in a weak voice, in a scared voice, it's not going to be convincing to a bad guy. You have to actually believe it yourself and say it in a confident way. Even if you're scared on the inside, make sure you're portraying somebody who's not going to be an easy victim. Make them think that you're brave. You are brave. We just need to make it come out in your voice. So, I'm going to say it, and you please repeat it. No. 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 So, how did that feel? Even though it's a simple thing, sometimes it's a little hard to say no. So let's practice it a few more times. I'm going to say it, you repeat it. No. 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 Good. I think that you should practice that in the mirror every day, at least 10 times, so that it really becomes something you can do easily. Again, you'd think you wouldn't need to practice this, but it's a lot harder than you think to say no to somebody in a scary situation. And of course, another way that we use our voice in self-defense, and we do this in class all the time, is let go. So if someone's got us by the wrist or someone's got us from behind, just like we practice in our wrist releases, or we practice in our front or rear bear hugs, we can tell somebody, let go. So we're going to practice that together as well. Again, it's important to be confident as you say this. Don't make it a question. Let go? No, we're making this a command. Let go. If you say it and you believe it, I think there's a good chance they may actually let go, even if it's just because they're surprised. And if you put a lot of energy into it, if you make it loud, it may be enough as a surprise that they'll stop what they're doing. So let's do the same thing with let go. I'm going to say it, and I'd like you to repeat it. Let go. Let go. Let go. Let go. Let go. Good. Again, another one that you can practice every day in the mirror until you feel comfortable that you could say that anytime that you needed to. Another one that I think can be useful is back off. So that's before somebody even's gotten hold of you. You can tell them to keep their distance. I think this is really great to practice with a hand motion. So you can actually put your hand out to physically remind them they need to stay away from you. So something like this. Back off. Again, this needs to be confident, needs to be loud. Let's practice this one together. I'm going to say it, and then I'd like you to repeat it. And go ahead and use that hand motion. It can be really helpful. Back off. Back off. Back off. Back off. Back off. How did that feel? Good. Again, very useful thing to practice every day, looking at yourself in the mirror so that you can see what you're giving off. Are you confident? Are you really convincing yourself that you mean it? So practice this a few times every day, or at least a few times a week when you think about it. Now, I'm not going to say that you should be assertive in every single situation, every day, and everything in your life. No is never the answer to every single question. But if you ever feel you're in a situation of danger or you feel uncomfortable, sometimes I call it your spidey sense. If you just know something's not quite right, don't ever hesitate to stand up for yourself and to keep yourself safe. So remember, if you're ever in one of those situations where you're just not sure, where you feel unsure or unsafe, or your spidey sense is going off, make sure to be assertive. Do what's best for you and make sure you let that person know that, both verbally by using your voice and physically by the way you stand or way that you use your hands. I hope this has been useful for you. We're going to attach a worksheet along with this so that you can practice some of these techniques, think about how they work, and the things that we want you to remember from this video. Take care. We'll see you soon.